Hey, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. This is Jupiter Exile, and today I would like to get back to making attempts on Orphan of Kos. I need to farm a little bit more first, so I'm going to go do a round of Menzies Pigs, and what I'm actually farming for this time is going to be Quicksilver Bullets. I've been doing some play between now and last time, where I was working on trying to get further in Chalice dungeons, see if I could get a better access to insight somewhere, anywhere, so that I could actually get more resources. So I've come to an understanding, and I've found that one method of getting insight is you can rerun older Chalice dungeons and refight the bosses. Unlike the bosses in the regular game, you get the insight when you kill instead of when you encounter. But nonetheless, you can use that as a method for farming up more insight, and it's basically the only way to do it. It's a pain in the neck on SL1, but that's the way it is. So I have to spend like probably half an hour to farm insight, and that's without running root chalice dungeons. If I run some root dungeons, there might be some better opportunities to make it kind of easier to get at. So there are some more setups I looked at for the boss, and it seems specifically a lot of it is gun counter setups. So I might be able to use gun counters to get me some better openings on the boss. I don't know about that. It's a thought. So basically, we're going to be kind of working along to see if that's something worth refining and figuring out how to do better, or if we're just going to stick to kind of the same strats we've been doing and see if we can't get the boss to cooperate a bit more. I think both the pigs might be awake now. No, still just the one. So we might take Chalice Dungeon breaks in the middle of Orphan of Kos attempts to slowly try and get more resources built up. There are a couple of enemies in Chalice Dungeons that I can kill that will occasionally drop for me high-level Ritual Bloods. And I did get access to the Arcane Haze Extractor as well. If I can get 9 total Ritual Blood 4s, or 9 total Ritual Blood 5s, I can go to Ailing Lauren or Great Isis and have a new area to explore, and at least that would be new. Because there's nothing more like kind of off-putting and frustrating than like failing the same thing over and over. We should fail new things as we go. So let's see. I got a layer deeper in the Tumeru Chalice, and I believe there's a couple of stalkers there. When I killed them, they were dropping high-level Ritual Bloods, and I don't know if that is a one-time thing, like this enemy is the first time you kill him, you get this extra thing, or if that's actually renewable. Because if it's renewable, I could try just slapping on like an Arcane Eye and go to town and see if that'll let me stack up Ritual Blood 4s up to 9 and go somewhere new. So I don't know. There's also a boss in there that I can try and take down. He's just tough. He's got this really weird get off me attack. And I just have to be in the rhythm of dodging that attack for a weirdly long amount of time in order to take him out. Okay, so I've got 35 blood vials. I think I want to buy at least 20 more, and then the rest will be Quicksilver bullets. I thought there was like an add by 10 thing, but I don't remember what the input for that is. So with that, I shouldn't have to buy Quicksilver bullets for a really, really long time. And we're going to do some more attempts on the Orphan. I do think Orphan of Kos is the most challenging boss that I've got left. Given the way that he functions, I think he's not a huge difference in difficulty from Lady Maria. I think they're similar in a lot of ways. Kos is just a little bit less consistent, and his Phase 2 is... I don't even want to say his Phase 2 is rougher than Maria, because Maria's later phases are really, really, really brutal. They're just like challenging in different ways. Because Maria's late phases, there's a lot of kind of wait and see stuff. The Orphan's later phases, it's like he's all over the place, so it's a bit tenuous. Yeah, I'm still having a lot of issues with getting these charge attacks to land in the right spots, especially while locked on. And using these charge attacks and landing them is really core to the strat of taking him out, so that's a thing. I wanted to see if that had a maximum range, and the answer is like a yes and no. There might be a point where he stops throwing them. I don't know. Too far away. Take that. Okay, I was too close, so I couldn't jump rope it properly. That's a decent showing to sit back down to. Whew. Got cold hands. Gotta get over that. Ba-da-da-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. So, we may be able to get in more openings and fix certain problems by mixing in gun counters. That was really weird in various ways. Okay, so a lot of things went wrong in like, a lot of stuff happened there that I can't necessarily account for all of it. We had kind of a camera flub and a bad dodge and a missed backstab all in a row. Oh, great. That's a death? Yep. I didn't manipulate the elevator correctly. So, let's see. Yeah, the bosses I'm up against in the Chalice dungeons right now, there's an undead giant, and there is... Let's see, it's an undead giant on one end, and on the other end it's the PvP fight. The PvP fight is super, super annoying. There are some cases, there's like an extent where I can just kind of spam gunshots to like try to deal with the guy and to get him really low. I just need to win like a little bit more 50-50 than I've been getting in order to get through the fight. I think that a lot of the time the kind of second floor, sometimes the first floor or second floor boss of a Chalice dungeon is just really gimmicky, and BL4 is really bad for gimmick fights. I'll have to dodge forward because I was in the middle of backstepping when that's happened. That barely hit me. Hit there. I need to remember the counter timing on that hit sequence. Yeah, that was bad on me for a couple reasons. After taking the forward dodge and the leap, I did not have the time to get the critical. And then I got desperate and tried to see if I could, like, stuff his response with a gunshot. But that's no good. Yeah, I need to become more aware of which of his attacks I can shut down before they start. So we're going to keep experimenting with gunshots here. He's even got some attacks in his second phase that are gun counterable. Now, taking a gun counter onto those into a visceral is not super rewarding, but it's probably all we get the chance to do. Because if we're not, like, facing his back, we can't do, like, a big, crazy thing. Okay, that's annoying. Not the button I wanted to press. Leap attacks. Yay. There we go. Solid charge attack. I think the dragging attack is actually the case where I'm most curious about whether or not I can get a gun counter. I just don't want to take the risk on it. I'm glad he leapt back there instead of doing something dangerous. Back to the ideal range. What's next? I'm not going to go for that. Timing is good. Walk out of that. By the book. Are we in third phase yet? Yes. That was too early. I get killed for that. Yeah, I started the charge attack too soon. And that particular attack with him leaping away and doing the toss, very likely to kill me if I'm not ready to move. Those various, like, pustule tosses is probably the most dangerous thing for us in Phase 3, because it covers a lot of ground. There's a lot of configurations of that that'll kill us. Okay, we got the leap somehow again. Sometimes the leap wants to happen. Generally, the reason why that's going to happen is I have to hit a corrective direction input in order to execute the charge correctly, and the leap will happen if I hit the corrective direction too early. I don't really want him doing, like, Pustule Toss too often in Phase 1. So we're going to be really close to him to try and make sure he doesn't want to do that. That particular follow-up is really difficult for me to get it to land, which is why I unlocked, to try and get more manual control. Oh. He hit me with the camera fumble combo. Yeah, he doesn't do that too often, but it completely... Well, he does that plenty often. Let's not lie. I took the first hit. Usually I dodge the first hit, but either way, he does the follow-up and it makes my camera go mad screwy. It's not common, but it's not rare. You get 3 of them in a pack of cards. Oh man, my friend's son was gifted some Pokemon cards as part of Christmas. So that might start him down the collectible trading card rabbit hole. Oh, come on. That's what happens when my, like, corrective direction input doesn't happen. There's one. There's 2. There's 3. Pop off. Whiffed. I wonder if I could get the counter off of that. Oh. There's 4. Dang. Yeah, I was getting a little too hungry to punish that attack by getting behind him, but I didn't actually have the time to do that. Mad cold. Been on the computer for too long. So I have the day off for tomorrow, and I was trying to think if I wanted to get something together, do like a big long form thing. My friends have still been playing 7 Days to Die, so that's a very high, strong candidate. Might just do that for a while. Oh, come on. Alright. I'll just stay out on that so I can recover. Trying to do some more ambitious things. There we go. There's some damage. So I figured out what was wrong with some of my backstabs from before. Based on his follow-up on the jump rope attack, he either does jump rope, or he's going to do jump rope slam. My backstab positioning has to be different based on which one he's doing. Because if he does jump rope, his back twists to my left, and I need to actually be facing more towards my left with the way I execute the backstab. Otherwise it'll miss. Might as well grab that. Get it out of the way, so I don't have random prompt showing up. Whereas if he does back jump rope to slam, his back is more like directly in front of me. Probably one or two more away from phase change. I think it's 2 backstabs away. Oh no, that wasn't a backstab? Was I like too close to him? Okay, I was too close to him and the attack hit his front. Shoot, I haven't had that happen before on that. Well, I've probably had that happen before, but oh man. He does not stay down very long on that like counter opportunity. If I could get optimal damage just by performing the visceral on him after these counterattacks, I would love that, man. That would be so nice. Part of my thinking as far as possibly doing more Chalice dungeons is I might get better rune setups to actually increase my damage on an average attempt. Some of those setups would require me to like play it as a no-hit run because I'd be using like damage up on low health. But I'm fine with that. This isn't very different from a no-hit run already. Heck, that would save me on blood vials, so I'm all for it. There we go. Ah. That makes 3. Ow. It is nice that like toss is not lethal. So it's 6-1. But if I have to choose between that like not being lethal or having like maybe 5 or 6 fewer hits needed in the fight, I'd probably take the 5 or 6 fewer hits needed. Please stop doing that at the mid-range. It's really hard to deal with. Okay. From here, it's only 1 or 2 more to the phase change. Ow. I'm actually at the edge of the arena. Okay, it's either here or 1 more to cause the phase change. Looks like it's 1 more. Okay, so this should be the phase change. We'll give him a bit of space. That's not a phase change. That is. Gotta wait until the wings stop flapping. That was a troll. I was a little too late. I was a little too late, so he started into a behavior, and then he didn't take the backstab. Now, it might be my imagination. I thought I heard the backstab audio, and he just ignored it because he was in the air. I'm not sure if that's how that works. Might be a thing. Yeah, I really need to be getting that backstab off the phase transition, because the number of actual backstabs I need to hit him with in phase 2 is not a lot. Not that much. That was a window. Oops. Now that is an unfortunate difference with Maria. We've got a lot more waiting in this phase 1. Okay, he got angry way faster. That was immediate after I had hit him with the second backstab string. He didn't do any kind of resetting behavior at all. I think that's because I was on his side instead of straight behind him. More variables to think about. So if I do actually hit the backstab there, but I'm on his side, I need to go for the visceral instead of the full punish in order to keep it safe. That time I was directly behind him, so it's fine. Get that up off the floor. Bit of a whiff there. Okay, dicey stuff. Pretty good fight so far, but can go wrong any moment. positioning was pretty off there. That's on me. I had already started moving back, so let's continue moving back. That one we unlocked to more smoothly move behind him. We didn't have a guaranteed backstab without unlocking. Dodge out of that. And unlocking just makes it like... Unlocking makes it possible, but it's still tricky to land. Yeah. Little clipped. We're going to back up. Heal. He should phase 3, like nowish. That's the clean backstab. 3 of those. And then this. And then I can follow him after. Got another backstab setup. But it was partial. Dang it. I didn't have a good register of what he was going to do. I didn't get the full backstab on my second punish. So I'm not sure if it was because I didn't recognize it soon enough, so I wasn't able to get the full set. I was hanging out a little too close to him to read him correctly. I can't differentiate his melee attacks in the second phase very well just yet. It mostly looks like the same. Right now, it mostly all looks like the same thrashing. There are a couple of things I need to be able to pick out. There's like a very specific string you have to bait him into by like following him after a certain kind of dash. I did not get far enough away there. I got jammed up on him there, but it was okay. Because my dodge was nice to me, for once. Let's time that correctly, since our attack mysteriously whiffed. That didn't land correct, but we're still alive, apparently. What's next? What is next? That didn't land right. Sir, you are making a scene. Please calm down. That hit. No, that was just a regular stun. That wasn't a counter. That wasn't a backstab. I was confused anyway. I was like, that didn't look like a backstab. Why is he staggering? It was just a stagger. He staggers sometimes. Blech. Regular old stagger. Yeah, there's a lot of these where you have to unlock in order to get the right attack trajectory. He's like Monas in a tinier package with harder hitting attacks. Whiff. That didn't hit his back either. Get out of there. There we go. Just barely out of that. I could have used that as a chance to hit him, but I wasn't close enough. Got that. Getting like weird audio cuts. Not sure what's causing that. I would think it'd be something about his ranges, but it might be something to do with my speakers. I'm not dead. That's nice. That might be third phase? Second phase. Second phase. So we take that. We can follow. Baiting a certain kind of swing. Okay. That's the thing that he does, and that's a counterable move, where after double gallop, I can shoot him to preempt that, and then go for a visceral. But it's like he does a 1-2, and then he'll attack in. But that should actually be a pretty solid counter hit opportunity once I get more accustomed to it. Just need to get him to phase 3 consistently. Understanding that his first phase, like, backstabs are almost the opposite of guarantees. Like, learning this fight, I felt initially as though those backstabs were very consistent. Understanding now that they are not consistent, I had to get over a big frustration hill there. I might not be entirely over it, but that's been pretty big. And I have to unlock to get a lot of those hits in, or even to attempt a lot of those hits, I need to unlock. Just a few more buttons to be aware of. I didn't adjust that correctly, and he went into an attack that I'm not very good at dodging point blank unlocked. So I'm trying to like line that up just right to get on his butt, but I'm pulling a little too far left on that a lot. I need to be biasing pretty far out and relying on like the wrap shot of the end of my attack to get the backstab. There are a lot of peculiarities with the punish on the screenless combo, which is what tripped me up there. Because there's kind of a lot of different positions that can result from ending that. And this isn't like a Dark Souls 3 backstab that'll just snap you into place. No. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, yeah, some very random things happened there. My taking the hit on moving in was my own fault. My quick step was like a weirdly short distance, and then I was in just the wrong spot for his follow-up. But that combo just does that to me a lot. The camera combo. That's when Kos like knocks you back into the camera, and the camera gives you a nice clean 1-2 punch, and the camera and the boss just kick you while you're down. That's the official name now. It's the camera combo. It seems to me like he uses camera combo when I'm at a certain range that is a little bit closer than I want to be. So I might be able to prevent that by standing further back. Some of the weirdness of the fight is very clearly evident. You can see after I get that counter, but before I go for the counter attack, I get pulled around to the front of the boss. That's his gangly arms, just like kind of snagging me and just moving me over. It's probably the clearest indication of that facet of how the fight works. So dodging diagonal forward through that attack does seem to be the best way to avoid it. Sometimes he takes that as an opportunity to do something really nasty to me. Yeah, we can get all the way up there. Yeah, that time he didn't pull me all the way around. It's a lot cleaner. It's pretty much based on how far away I am from him when the backstab happens. There we go. Yeah. Like, that backstab doesn't look anywhere near him, but that is the proper backstab hit. That was too early on the gunshot. Yeah, it looks like he turns away from that, but it hits on the tail end. So weird. I think it's one more, and then we'll be in second phase. Nope, there's second phase. And there's the full punish. Now we gotta back up to observe. There's another full punish, which is 2,000 damage. Okay, that's a double step there. I needed to dodge that. Yeah, he takes a step back, he rears up, and then it's a 1-2. Okay. Learn those attacks one by dying to them. On that bit where he did the double jump slam thing, he went up once, he landed, he went up again, he landed again. I think it's possible for me to, what's it called? I think he possibly has a follow-up after landing the second time, but I can get into a certain position to bait that follow-up and punish him afterwards with just a strafe around. So I think I want to be relatively close to his landing position and then work from there. I think is the way that attack is supposed to work out for me. Whoops. Short on blood vials again. What's up? What do you want to do? I've adjusted my play around the jump rope attack as well. I'm shuffling to the right during the startup. So that I can more cleanly be over the rope part of the attack instead of moving straight towards him. Because if I'm moving straight towards him, that causes the case where I get caught on his face a lot. Whoa! I don't like that. Okay, I missed the counter. But soon I'll have that counter back in my repertoire. I was listening for the scream rather than watching the boss. And there's the scream I wanted to hear. Is he on phase up? Doesn't look like it. Should be one more attack then. Let's make sure it's a backstab. My character got snagged and didn't dodge correctly. But I'm still okay. Camera combo. Come on now. Oh. I'm not going to get the punish there, am I? I was too late on the gunshot counter for that. Yeah, it's about maybe a half second too late on that counter. I'm going to update the stream tag because I have figured out phase 1. So I'm going to update that to phase 1 solved. I understand what I'm doing in that phase very clearly. So I just need to, I'm going to refill and get back to it. As I'm getting to phase 2 very routinely right now. I'm dying almost immediately in phase 2, but that's okay. It's very similar to like some of our earlier handlings on Ludwig, Maria. We figure out the phases one at a time. These guys down, up the stairs. Yeah, so a lot of the people who are doing like New Game Plus runs in this, like the higher challenge levels and things like that, they've actually completed higher level chalice dungeons and they've gotten more ritual blood and things. So, you dork. So they wind up having different blood gems to work with. Oh, come on, just die. So some of the videos I was referencing, it's interesting they have actually different kind of gear sets for this. Similarly, like some of those runs, once you're doing like New Game Plus, you stop worrying about like root chalice restrictions or things like that, and they have just farmed root chalice dungeons for all of the crazy stuff they might need. So those runs will actually be playing with like higher level runes as well. Let's pull you over. Come on, charge. Do it. He actually double charged. Now he's all the way over here. He's going to be turned over before I can quite get to him. There we go. Sort of. You had to make this messy. There we go. I couldn't get the visceral there. It did not want to visceral up the stairs. Game was in no mood for that. Okay. It's difficult for me to get behind him with that positioning. There we go. Step on up. Hurry, hurry. Yeah, so I didn't get the visceral kills on either of the other two. So we'll have a slightly lower yield this time. That is a note on this. We're working with, I think it's the Blood level 1 rune, Moon, I think. I think we're on Moon 1, which is naturally less effective. There's a Moon 2 and a Moon 3 that I could theoretically get through Root Chalice dungeons. And that would get us a lot more Blood Echoes. I think we're also on... I think this is Air 2. I don't think it's Air 3. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Moon 1. You can tell most clearly by the kind of how clear the background is. Like you can see the difference between these two Beast runes. I believe this is Beast 1 and Beast 2. There would be a Beast 3 later. I think this is actually Guidance 3. It's a little hard to tell. You don't get very many third-tier runes in playing the base game, or even doing New Game Plus in the base game. You have to get them through Chalice dungeons. I'm wondering, because they have said that dungeons will feature very heavily in Elden Ring, if you will actually have... if we'll actually be in kind of the same scenario where higher tier loot will actually require us to do these more advanced dungeons. I'm not inherently opposed to the idea, because it extends playtime, it gives us like more dynamic opportunities to experience the game. But it does feel very punishing for low level runs sometimes, to have to do this content that is unscripted. Because some of it's really nasty. Honestly, I'll be fine with it so long as they're light to nowhere on the PvP style fights. They've kind of said from the development side they wanted to ease away from PvP as a core game element. It's going to be purely opt-in in Elden Ring. I would really hope that means that we will not have to deal with enemies who are PvP formatted, like Half-Light Spear of the Church, the Mirror Knight, and just the couple of Bloodborne fights that are PvP based. And honestly, there are like not any PvP based Bloodborne fights in the main area, except for a little bit of Mikolash. Well, there are a couple enemies. There are the two guys by the Abbey, and there are a couple enemies in Yahar Ghul, but they're skippable. You can just kind of run past them. If you don't go to... if you don't get taken by a Snatcher early in the game, then you are much more likely to have to deal with those fights. But if you get taken by a Snatcher to the Hypergean Gowl early on in the game, you can open some doors. That attack is really hard to avoid from that angle. I have a very bad understanding of its hitboxing from there, because I know when he does the second swing, it'll hit behind his head. I think if I just stay at his back, it's better. What I actually need to do there was not move at all. So that's tricky. But yeah, there's a couple PvP fights that I've even left behind right now. They're just like in the back of Yahar Ghul. Come to think of it, I could also turn in these blood dregs. There's a couple more PvP content type things related to Cainhurst that I have the option of going back to do. It's like a little quest. There's a little quest, and I think that quest also ends with me acquiring one more badge that would allow me to buy other things from the shop. But all you get out of that, as far as I'm aware, is the torture rack wheel item, which is really awesome for high-level strength builds and really unimportant for a low-level run. I unlocked to line that up better, and it worked. Pretty clean progress. Need about 2 more backstabs from here, and we'll be in phase 2. Okay, there's about the 50 mark. That's about what we're looking for. He'll do a get off me. There's the phase change. There's the first backstab. To the visceral. Ouch. I want to be completely full. Another full backstab setup. And I back up. My positioning was a little weird there, because I wound up like inside his character model. Okay, he didn't continue walk. He didn't do another leap. Move a little right here, and then that was probably a bad leap. Okay, that. I was far away enough that that didn't hit me, which is good, because I didn't get the gun counter off correctly. Okay, he didn't do the second leap. Whew. Okay, lightning attack. I'm going to be far away from him for this. About here is fine. That dodge was too early for me, and that hitbox from him was completely ridiculous. Yeah. I was like at the very far edge of that hitbox. There's one. No thanks. Not positioned for that. There's two. There's three. Position was a little awkward for that jump rope. Yeah, okay. Missing that backstab was fatal. I really thought I had that on the mark. Sit tall for a sec. And stretch out. So I think my my plans on this is at the 2-hour mark. If I'm still fighting Kos, the 2-hour mark, I'm probably going to take a break on him and try to advance some Chalice dungeons, just for variety's sake. So right now I'm 6 ritual blood short of opening up a new dungeon. And I'm getting very close to dungeons that actually might start to drop higher tier gems than what I have equipped. And that would be very welcome. And also, if I can clear them all, then I will complete a more prestigious challenge run. That's 2. That's 3. it is theoretically possible to get a backstab on him after that sequence. It's just a long, obnoxious sequence. There's 4. We wait for him to leap away before going for the heal. That would have been 5. Okay, he just did that again. That's going back on what I just said. Leap away before... wait until he leaps away to heal. I didn't need to heal there. I was fine. I'm just nervously frittering away my resources. With every press of triangle being frustratingly more costly than the last. They're the same cost, but... for some verschluggen reason, they decided that blood vials would be more expensive the later in the game you are, and actually everything in the shop is more expensive the later in the game you are. Which is preposterous, because most of these things, like, sure, there's a scaling factor on a lot of them, but not all of them. Getting real tired of your shit. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. I could have actually punished that. Whoops. There's 6. Can't seem to get the counter on that. There's 7. And I acted too late. I was counting a bit on the phase change, and the 400 damage I did with that last charge attack actually caused the phase change. That's how close I was, which is actually ideal. So 8 charge attacks gets me the phase change. And if it's 8 backstabs and nothing else, I get the cleanest possible variation of the phase change, where I put him into the phase change using a backstab payoff attack, which is like 800 damage extra. And then I can backstab him again off of the phase transition for about another 2,000 damage. So that's putting him on like a 2,500 damage deficit relative to, well, it's like a 2,800 damage down from his actual phase transition point, which is around 40% HP. Oh, that's a mistake. With that happening, 7 backstabs will cause him to change the phase, and it will be on like non-ideal terms. Oh, theoretically. So you've got 1 backstab. There's 2 backstabs. So I can't recall if I had a backstab failure on the last run. Nope. Well, doesn't matter now. Yeah. So we want to get 8 clean backstabs, the phase transition backstab, and let's see. If 60% of his health is about 1600, give or take, then going off of 1600, one third of that is about 5,300, and so 40% of his health would be something like double that value, so 10,000. So if we're taking another 2,800 off of him in the transition, that's leaving us with something like 7,000 left after. But we're not actually doing... never mind. That's using the math from his Phase 2 backstabs to determine his health. It's actually would be about 7 times 1,300. 8 times 1,300 is what causes him to cross over the phase. So that's 8,000 plus 2,400. It's about 10,400. Oh. So about 10,000. If 10,000 is his 60%, then 2/3 of that is about another 6,000 and change. Which would mean about 3 backstabs in Phase 2. I could just look up his health total on the wiki, and that would have been way easier. But to some extent, I need something to distract me from the fight, because this Phase 1 takes like an absurdly long time, because there's a lot of waiting between attacks. And it's super annoying to just like sit here and deal with that. So a quick little mental exercise helps. I thought I might have been too far on the left on that. Just a little bit. But, you know, you die on the margins on this every time. It's just a little bit, a couple missteps. Like, oh, that charge attack didn't backstab him, so this is going to put you in a really precarious position. Well, there we go. Yes, it's about 3 backstabs, because we're trying to get through 6,000 health-ish in Phase 3. I think there's a couple other ways we can sneak in more damage. Like we can get in a couple hits, probably like an R1 L1, when he's summoning lightning. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. And that's a setup I don't have to unlock for, which is nice. There's five. There's six. There's seven. So it's either here or an eighth where he'll transition. There's the transition. And we were too early for the backstab. Yep, I charged up a little too early. Because it's not quite at his last body shake that we start the charge. It's around when the wing tendrils stop moving, which is a little bit after the last body shake. It's not a solid audio cue, which is unfortunate. I like audio cues much better than visual cues. They're a lot easier to work with. Unfortunately, Bloodborne has a lot of visual cues because almost all of the audio is unintelligible screaming. Two. It's a nice safe heal. Yep, I missed the backstab. I've hit that backstab under similar conditions to that. I just didn't hit it there. I don't know why. Weird proximity to boss stuff. Now you have to attack very to the outside to to get the backstab on the double jump rope. It's a very weird trajectory. What time is it? Okay, 5:30. That's fine. That's right. We started at about 4 o'clock and change. I wanted to do at least 2 hours of Orphan of Kos. My average playtime has gone way down. Yeah, that's a very seldom used backstab opportunity, but it's there. think that was the third backstab. You could do me a favor and just like try to jump over me or something. Be very considerate of you. Yeah, so he's not obligated to stand around long enough for me to get that payoff. Which is why we don't usually do that. Sigh. The unfortunate thing about like gun counter setups on things like this is we don't get good critical payoffs. Like our critical payoff is 400 damage, it's pathetic. We only really get a good payoff if we get a full charge attack, because it's 800 damage. So, like, practicing a gun counter on a specific move just gives us, like, some slight amount of safety, a teeny tiny damage payoff. So it's weird. Like, it's doable. I mean, phase 2 is the lesser portion of his health. Most of the fight is phase 1. So certainly, like, learning a setup that gets you an extra 500 damage in phase 2, there's meaning to that. Because we're only looking to get about 6,000 damage overall. So 500 is a 12th of that. That's reasonable. Also, he's like hyperactive angry in phase 2. So getting him to just slow down for a moment is really nice. I think I can just heal off that without worrying. With him at that range, there's not too many different things he can do that would prevent me from getting that. It was too late on that gunshot. Now, even if I can get the timing on that gunshot right, the payoff's not very big, especially because it's in first phase. I'd much rather, for first phase, just get my 8 clean backstabs and move into, like, a nicely advantaged phase 2. Alright, looks like I'm about 1 backstab away. That was only safe because of timing. There's my clean 2,000 entry. And we're dead. Yeah, I really do have to back up every time I get the backstab finish. I tried to dodge on that, it just didn't happen. I just didn't have enough space to like see it coming, recognize it, and cope with it. Which is a little unfortunate. I think if you wrap left around that attack, that might get me a good setup, or like bait him to do the right thing, the thing I want him to do. I don't know. Phase 2 is fast. It's very fast. There's a lot of stuff that's about to happen. There's a lot of circumstances where you can manage to kind of linger behind the boss and he'll make a mistake. But you need to have a bit of distance because he has this turnaround attack that will attack on his left. That's always going to be his pivot direction, is his left. Camera combo. Whew. Barely survived. That was lucky. That might have been there might have been an okay time for me to go in for a backstab there that I missed. Not certain. But whatever. There's 2. There's 3. Whew. A little close. There's 4. There's 5. Dang it. So I got the counter, but I couldn't get the visceral in time. And then he just did the same move again, and it got me. And that was on 5 out of 8 backstabs. So I've got some new streaming gear and some various other things that I went ahead and ordered. Lights, really. Coming in on the 3rd, so looking forward to that. Also got myself some new sheets. Things you can only be excited about once you've reached adulthood. I was thinking I might order some new dishes to... not dishes per se, but pots and pans. Some new pans. I want to get a nice, like, high-wall skillet. Consequentially, every time I've ever asked anybody to get me a high-walled skillet as, like, a gift or something like that, and I've asked for it for, like, I think 2 Christmases and a birthday, I asked for a high-walled skillet, and the thing they got me did not have high walls. It's like, guys, you are failing to understand the prompt. Okay. Alright. We're healed up. We're fine. We're fine. I went for it on that because I was losing a bit of patience. Go. Big hits. Looks like we're 2 or 3 hits away. I think 2. No, might have been 3. Might have been 3, because this looks like it's more than 1 hit away. That doesn't quite look like his transition point. Nope, he wants it. Okay. Nope, that's the double thing. I'm not supposed to dodge in time with the first one if I'm that far back. 1, 2. Yep. I think if I dodge forward through the second one, I might be able to get him. I just need to, you know, be cognitive of the attack. Be aware of it. And be aggressive. Be aggressive. Got like 1 fire paper that I found doing a random chalice dungeon. There are enemies that can drop the stuff, but I don't think it's like I don't think it's worth farming, because I don't know if there's anybody who drops it commonly enough. Like maybe if I equipped Star Rune, I could have a decent time of it. There's 1. There's 2. And you got Moody. There's 3. There's 4. My index finger is going to get sore from jamming on R2. That makes 5. There's the 6th. Shoot. That bad hit will mean we only get 7 backstabs. So that should prompt the phase change, because we had a bad hit. And the Visceral. And we back it up, top off. Boom. Okay, so that was the wrong kind of dodge. How was I supposed to dodge that? Was I supposed to run dodge at his right? I was probably supposed to dodge at his right through the attack. Because I don't think that was a timing problem, I think that was a positioning problem. I think I put myself in the late portion of the attack. But hey, we can start to break down individual attack patterns in Phase 2, and I have to figure them out. It is easier to see the telegraphs on this than it is for Ludwig, because Ludwig's too big for me to understand his telegraphs well. It's weird, because Ludwig is like too big for me to understand his telegraphs well, and in many cases Maria is like small, and it's hard to make out her visual cues. There's a 1. Oh, I got a high roll on that damage. I went too early. Is that only the second? I think that's the 2. Okay, we got a half hit, so we're gonna get 7 backstabs in. There's 3. This has been a really long Phase 1. There's the 4. There's the 5. That makes 6. Alright, 7th will transition. Ah, that was a mistake. Too far back, okay. Alright, transition happens now. I did it again! I didn't recognize that he was rearing back! It's a little hard to tell from some of his other just generic movements. And then he starts rushing at me and I panic, which is wrong. I didn't get the backstab on my 3rd hit coming into his phase transition. So I didn't get I wasn't able to get the visceral, and that put me in a bad circumstance as well. And I don't know how to account for whether or not that is going to happen. That felt really random to me. It's something about his, like, stun angle. Like, when you hit him, he's been recoiling in favorable ways that allow me to get the 2nd backstab off. And that time he didn't, and I don't know why. Okay. That fight was not meant to be. Did like a series of attacks I didn't like. I went for a backstab on a subpar circumstance and didn't get it. And then he got me at the end of a dodge. Like a jerk. Okay, we'll only get 7 backstabs on him. There's 1. I got stuck on his character model and it caused my dodge to go weird, but that's alright. That's 2. There's 3. Top off that little bit of missing health. There's several attacks where that matters for this. There's 4. There's 5. There's 6. Next causes transition. Whiff. Dead. It's really hard for me to understand and like correctly read the positioning of his attack when he does that big wraparound swing. And it's the kind of thing that he's only going to do if I miss a backstab. That's why we really got to land these backstabs accurately. Okay, I'm going to give this like 2 more attempts, and then I'll be pivoting to Chalice Dungeons for a bit. And then at some point I will break off to eat. There's a third hit, a 1/3 hit. Okay. There's 1 1/3. There's 1 2/3. 2. No, that's not quite there. I'm almost at 1 more left click and I'm at 2 backstabs worth of damage. Okay, 2 2/3. Okay, That makes 3. Four. Five. 5 1/3. 5 2/3. That would be 6, because I had 5 2/3, and then I got a 3rd hit. Seven. Okay, next backstab transitions. And he's not transitioning, so I got the math right. That causes transition. Sure you want to transition, just give it a moment. There it goes. Okay, we like mysteriously didn't get the backstab on the transition, and then a lot of other weird stuff happened based on me trying to get behind him and failing. So I don't know how I didn't get that transition backstab. It looked like the right timing to me. He was like starting to stand up, but that's about when I want to hit him. So I guess he stood up and twisted in such a way that I didn't quite get it. That's very unfortunate. But yeah, basically, I should be doing like 0.3, 0.6, and full. And then, because like, basically, I'm looking at this in chunks of 400 damage, with a full number being 1200. And then I get half of one of those with an R1 hit. I can devise a better counting system for this, but it might require that I count by 13s. Was it 13s or 12s that I'm dealing now? I think it's 12s, actually. It's 13s, okay. Basically thinking like, it's 7 backstabs, but a failed backstab does about the same damage as 1/3 of a good backstab. And a failed backstab is one where I only hit the charge attack, or it's a visceral attack. Because a visceral attack and a charged R2 do about the same amount. And the goal of doing this math would be to make sure that I transition with a backstab every single time. Which is admittedly, like, probably more work than I actually need to do on this. It looks like one more backstab to transition him. Maybe a little more. How you feeling, buddy? You want to transition? That would have been a great visceral. Perfect. Okay, now we back up. There we go. That's how we're supposed to dodge that move. I think this is about where I want to hover. Give or take. Nope, that got me. I was in the wrong spot. Let's see, where did I make the last mistake? Okay, it was at the moment when I was charging. If I wrapped on his right, I would not have died. I think I could have just avoided the attack. Yeah, I need to learn more about the correct positioning to bait him, because I'm losing it a bit on like where to stand in phase 2 to prompt the right attacks. And I can probably fumble around into it if I give it enough time. So it looks to me that standing neutral, if he's like charging up an attack, I usually want to be wrapping around counterclockwise, generally speaking. But it's like a weave thing. Like, after a lot of his attacks, I'm supposed to actually do a clockwise movement to start to bait him into a certain procedure. And then after I've gone clockwise on it, I need to go counterclockwise to dodge the move I just baited out. Couldn't quite get there. Hammering him pretty good this run. I didn't get that visceral that I wanted. Didn't get it there either. He's very jumpy this run. Looks like maybe one more will transition him, maybe 1.5. He might transition. If he doesn't, I need to aim for a full backstab. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now begins the dance. Okay, he gave me a break there. Top off. It's difficult to maintain the correct dodge direction with that. Got him. Okay. Lightning Stream. Dang it. So, yeah, if you buffer the dodge too early on those, or rather, if you're dodging while locked onto that, you saw it dodged me away from him, but towards his landing position. And that's camera trickery that happens during that particular attack. He likes to do one cluster, then jump over and another cluster. I need to unlock to dodge that properly. I'm going to give it one more, and then I'm going to switch to Chalice. So I did manage to get one backstab on him during his phase 2, with the full-blown, like, charge, charge, charge visceral, but it was a bit of a fluke. I can't say I could reproduce that. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. I was a little lucky that that hit, even though I missed my input for the unlock. I dodged a little too early on that, I think. Yeah, might have been a little too early. It was just from too far back. Like, I didn't move forward enough before dodging, which is part and parcel with going too early. It's the same, the other half of the same problem, basically. Okay, I'm going to head back to the Hunter's Dream, and we're going to do some Chalice stuff for a bit. Just to vary it up. Yeah, I think I do have the Phase 1 pretty well understood, and I need to go back to the research material and rewatch the Phase 2 stuff. Ideally, like, if somebody has a long form of it, watch them, like, drilling on Phase 2. Okay, I can't tell. I've only got 3 more of those in storage, so we're going to have to refuel pretty soon, probably. So we've got 2 choices. We've got the Hintertomb 2, which is the PvP fight, or we've got Ptumaru 2, which is an undead giant. Somebody fighting the undead giant for a bit. So this fight is a little weird. He has a strong get off me attack with a hitbox that I really don't like, and he's got a pretty decent amount of health. And unlike Kos, we can't just backstab him. So this is a very, like, honest fight. But it's like an honest Bloodborne fight, so it's very, very fast. Unlike, you know, in an honest Dark Souls fight, it's you have to dodge, yeah, but it's still very slow. So it's that attack where he, like, spins around and it's got the balls. And the kick is also very quick. But this attack where he, like, spins around basically has 2 hitboxes. It has, like, a startup hitbox and an end hitbox. And that's depending on where you are relative to him. If you're actually behind him, then he will have an ending hitbox as those kind of ball and chains on his back swing back around and crash into you. For that reason also, dodging through him is a no-go, which is why every single time I'm going to want to dodge away. And the kick gets me pretty unfortunately often here. I don't want to line up with the guy's back because I don't want to deal with a nastier version of the hitbox. Yeah, he'll do the spin around, get off me, whether I'm in front of him or behind him. He doesn't really care about it. So we kind of just want to play this around, coming in for like single solitary hits and moving back out. It's the safest way to deal with it. We can go for a little more. I've just been getting burned a lot. And then from this point on, he does this bigger, like, shouty, bursty thing that is lethal. Yeah, if he commits to something, we can get in a little bit of extra damage. That's a really big range. Okay, that snapped us around into a Visceral, which is not really what we want to do there. But oh well, it happened. Okay, that's him recovering from the break condition. That's like a grab attack. I guess he's got one of those too. Okay, so like that randomly walking me around to the other side of the boss is really dangerous. Ouch. That's no good. So this is a much slower rendition of how I was trying to play this the other day. Which is probably why it was meeting with more success until that right there. Yeah, it's just a very meticulous one hit, one hit, one hit. If I can pick out the point where I get the crumple state on him, then I can use that for a fully charged R2, and that should be okay. I should have about that much time. Similarly, the time that he uses to recover, I can go in for like 2 or 3 hits. And the recovery is tied to us getting the part break on him. Well, the part break and visceral and all that jazz. He really likes spinning. Oh, I didn't quite get the dodge timing right on that. I've got the general cadence down a bit better, though. It's mostly that we just have to be very wary about the spin and move out for every single spin. But when he commits to something other than the spin, I can behave differently and get in more hits. So I need to be aware of that. It's basically anytime he's going to go for a hooking attack, or a hook or a slice or something like that, I can dodge around on his right-hand side and usually get in hits. Like extra stuff. If I accidentally walk through his legs, I will be in a very, very bad position. I didn't dodge out, and I needed to. If my timing is really tight, I can walk in and out. If my timing is a little off, I need to dodge out instead. Walking out gives me the opportunity to punish immediately after he does the spin. If I have to dodge out, I'm like reset back to neutral, basically. So I want to walk out if possible, but I can only do that if I'm kind of walking preemptively, and there I wasn't walking soon enough. If I can kill him, I can turn him into blood vials and just keep going. If I have to heal much more, and he takes me out, I will have to do a quick farming run. That was a bit of an unnecessary dodge. I got kicked. I have a bit of a hard time reacting to the kick. It's often the case where like he'll be going for the kick and my finger is just like too heavy on the circle button and I don't let loose fast enough. So my thought is I'll do chalices for about an hour, and then however far we get on that, afterwards I'm going to go offline to eat dinner, and no guarantees that I might be back on later. We'll see. Yeah, if we go for 2 hits, it's harder for us to get out of that. We got underneath him, which made our camera really weird, and overall made that very hard to deal with. Okay, he did an immediate spin instead of a pause then spin. So I didn't realize he had 2 timings on the spin, but that spin was a lot faster. Awesome. Yay. It might have been instead that he did the same startup for the spin, but maybe he did the startup while he was, like, as part of his coming out of hit stun animation, and the transition was just something I didn't notice. I don't really want to deal with the idea of there being 2 timings for the spin. Like, come on. Yeah, I think it's just that I didn't notice it correctly. He loves spinning. This dude's just a friggin' top. Yeah, he's got 2 big swings. He's got the left hand big swing and the right hand big swing. Whoops, my bad. Big swing. Spin. Slam. Spin. Come on, dude. Follow a pattern of some kind. We're so close. Big swing. There we go. Slam. And we'll take him out. Alright. That was tedious. That was so tedious. But we got some Blood Echoes, and we also got 2 Insight for killing him, which is cool. If I had actually killed him with a Visceral, I think I would have gotten the air trigger. I believe that also applies to bosses. That could have gotten us a decent bit more Blood Echoes. Oh well. Alright, so now we can have some Chalice Dungeon stuff. I'm gonna edit the stream info. To indicate that we've got some Chalice Dungeon content. So this was in Tumeru. Going back in. So the Adept Damp Blood 4 is basically no chance of that being worthwhile. I think if the number in parentheses is a 4, it's basically not going to work. I think it needs to be a 5 for us to care. Or it has to be Nourishing, I think is the stat. Yeah, so yeah, Tempering Damp 4 was probably this one actually. That's a pretty high value. 16.5? No, it was the Adept is what we got. Yeah, Adept is worthless. Thrust Attack Up doesn't work. Tempering Damp 4, if it's only doing physical attack, can possibly be competitive with our current gems. But the 4 there is like that rating 12. We really want these to be clocking in at like rating 15. I don't think we can find those in this depth of Chalice Dungeon. I think we need to go deeper before we can find that. So we'll take this elevator here to the next layer. Let's see. This is a depth 3 Chalice Dungeon. So layer 3 of depth 3 out of, I believe they go up to depth 5. And then at depth 5, you're finding like the crazier stuff. But there's also like, I'm not sure if Defiled is a depth modifier or just a modifier on the Chalice Dungeon itself. That's a big old Rom Spider guy. Okay. This might actually be the level where we wind up having to fight Vacuous Rom. Some of the main game bosses do reoccur as bosses in Chalice Dungeons. Okay, so we've got this format. Okay, this is going to be difficult. Yeah, alright. I vaguely remember this layout. Well, this room style is used in a lot of different Chalice Dungeon formats, so there's a couple that do this. I think Upper Hintertomb is the first that does that. Rather, it's not Upper, it's just Hintertomb. So I think Hintertombs is just basic Hintertombs and lower Hintertombs. Yeah, for a Rom Spider, we basically just walk past it. Now, ROM spiders do have a, like, it's not a good drop rate, but they do have a drop rate for insight, so that's pretty cool. These guys should have a summoner around somewhere. Okay, I saw her loosely. Oh. Okay, so we've got these, like, pyromancer sword goons. We've got big dogs, little dogs. There's a lot of stuff here. All right. It looks like the bell ringer is on the left on the central platform. If I can kill the bell ringer, I can actually start to get methodical about it, but the bell ring summons are basically immediately aggressive, and that does not afford me a lot of control of how I'm dealing with this encounter. Yeah, so we run past him, and he just gets killed. Excuse me? Did he actually have, like, a webbing spray behind him? I didn't know that was an attack they could do. Hey there. Yeah, I need to get on her without these other dudes in the pack getting me. I think there are probably 2 bell ringers around here, because there are way too many summons for only 1 bell ringer. I might have to go to the lower levels to pick this apart, or just to run past the stuff and get away from it. Which is a shame, because a lot of the enemies that we're looking at here actually have a chance of dropping ritual bloods and big crazy things. Oh, you've got my souls. How interesting. Hand those over, please. So, let's see. I am still going to go after her. I just want to do a quick little juke. Okay, so he actually... Did I get shot? Okay, something hit me outside of the pack that it looked like I was fighting. Hey there. Orphan runs have gotten a bit more consistent. I wanted to, like, kind of give it a break, so I jumped into some Chalice dungeons. The rate of getting consumables out of Chalice dungeons as a BL4 is, like, pathetic, but I just want some variety. And I was able to get past one of the bosses I was on the Chalice, so... I'd say I'm getting to Phase 2 about 70 to 80% of my attempts now, so solid progress. Oh, excuse me, sir. That's very rude. Very rude indeed. Yeah, this particular Chalice dungeon floor is absolutely swarming with goons. There's a ton of guys in here. They are everywhere. Yeah, so I really need to figure out more about Orphans Phase 2 to get much further. I've been seeing the messages that you and Cody have been really tearing up 7 Days to Die. Okay, so there's a lot of these spellcaster goons around the edges. I kind of just want to grab stuff and then get out of this main room. This is a really obnoxious main room. Looking around, eyes open. Okay, so we've got some goons and a ROM spider. Looks like that's basically the way I've got to go. That's true. That explains it. Yeah, I think if I want to jump in, I should like find a time to grind outside when you guys are both on, so I can get my level up to something more matching without having to fight the zombies that y'all will cause to spawn. Then again, I could always just hang out during 7th night and it'll power level me. I won't be contributing much, but... Oh, man, that's a bummer. I gotta run around all that stuff again. I think one of the summoners might be up there on the second floor. Either that, or somebody was shooting me from the second floor and causing trouble. Oh, one other thing I was looking back at that I might be playing more of is Noita. Um, there have been a couple updates, of course. Not a lot have changed the core gameplay, but they did update the tooltips and things on some of the spells. And that makes some of the references cleaner. That's true. Um, there's also a workshop mod that I grabbed for Noita called the Spell Lab that gives you a series of tutorials and challenges to actually better understand some things about how spell damage works, and how to like build out wands. Um, it actually goes into and teaches you some of the weirdly vital tricks you can do with chainsaw, multicast, things like that. And also, apparently, um, and this is remarkably unclear, there's an accelerating spell modifier that does not indicate that it increases your damage, because it only increases your damage for certain spells that are capable of receiving a multiplier based on velocity, which is weird as heck. Um, but the actual damage you can put out based on that is really nutty. It's like one of these challenges is like, hey, use these modifiers along with the bouncing bolt spell to inflict 1,000,000 damage per second with this wand. It hands you a wand that is admittedly crazy, and the modifiers it hands you are also quite nice. But it's like, yeah, figure out how to make this do 1,000,000 damage. Um, so it's basically like a tutorial on how to like cheat at Noita. um, there's one bit that it gets into where it's like, oh yeah, there's kind of a glitch where if you increase the radius on explosives, um, if you have multiple radius increasers for explosives, it janks things out and causes your explosives to do like way more damage than they should. So here's a little tutorial to demonstrate that. What's it called? And then it's like, oh yeah, certain projectile types only need one of these modifiers to start doing utterly way too much damage. And it's like, yeah, go ahead and try this wand, fiddle with it, and suddenly you fire a shot that does 1,000 damage off of something that doesn't make any sense. But it's very, very helpful. Because some of these tricks come together using very basic spell setups. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Noita should be like is all about that nonsense. I think Noita is probably the most brutal roguelite I have played. I don't know what that thing is with the messengers in the corner. I think that might be a Chalice Dungeon shop, because there are Chalice Dungeon shops. It's just a really rude thing that the game has. How do I get there alive? That is today's question. I can't even hit her with a gun from here. I can't quite jump over to there. There's no elevator active here, right? Nope, sometimes you get an elevator there. Yeah, I totally endorse any amount of cheating you can get away with for Noita. Okay. That's almost certainly a lethal drop. Killed those guys. There's like no elevators down here. Is there another like side room? Okay, well let's check out this side area. Or is this how I got up here? Could be either one. Yeah, this is how I got up. It doesn't matter too much because I already flipped the switch, so everything else I find is a bonus. But yeah, I was thinking I might give Noita some more time because it is really entertaining. Whoop. Okay, I think what I want to do is run into this under area for a modicum of safety, and because I have a strong suspicion there will be one summoner down here. Head on a swivel. And we've got big dogs over there with a pyromancer guy. Those pyromancers are ridiculous. Oh, hello. Somebody's shooting fire at me in, like, a lot. Yeah, let's just... Nope, nope, nope. Don't you worry about a thing. Aw, dang. Okay, but my suspicions were confirmed because half of those guys didn't explode. Yeah, I am off today, tomorrow, so I can be down for whatever. I can join you guys on 7 Days to Die. We could do something else. I'm not sure what to jump into in particular, but 7 Days is looking like a pretty strong candidate. Okay, so now I can just jump over here. Alright. Do we have a post-switch segment? We do. So I'm going to jump in here. Anytime you have a door past the boss switch, it is full of treasures. Yeah, those guys are always big old loot bags. I could be on 7 Days even now. But I did really want to play some more Bloodborne. It's because I'm like on the precipice of giving up with Bloodborne, so I really have to just make myself jump into it, make myself get in some ooh, that's scary. Make myself get in some progress so that I can be in a better mood about the game. And thankfully, I actually have been making that progress. Because, you know, you force yourself to sit down to a game with the thought, I need to make some progress. That can either go one of two ways. Okay, what do we have through here? Got a bit of an oil pile. This room type often has something really nasty. Just get an empty one? Is there like a box? Yeah, okay, we got like a chest here. Yeah. That startled the ever-loving crap out of me. Just knocking over that body. Okay, so that's like really slim pickings for loot so far. Tells me that in the room behind the angry dogs and the pyromancer, there's probably some really good treasure. So if I can lure out the dogs one at a time, despite them being all red-eyed and nasty, they probably still fall over if you shoot them. Oh, you are from that same room, but you are not one of the big scary dogs. Oh, they breathe fire. Full-blown hellhounds. Ouch. Yep. I got hit a way I didn't want to, then I got tied up on the pillar. I tried to swing back to rally, and I came up short. But let's get back around to that. I know I need to get through on that second floor. It does look like they get knocked down by a gunshot, or at least very notably staggered by gunshots. I could also go on to fight the boss, but generally these areas, once you're past these like switch openings, this is where the real goddamn treasure is. Plus, like, if I'm killing this stalker every time I come through, it should be really good loot. Yeah, they can drop Ritual Blood 4 just randomly. I called him Stalker. I called him Stalker, but I believe he's a Snatcher. I don't remember which. So if I get 9 Ritual Blood 4s, which I could theoretically get by farming these guys, I can open up another Chalice dungeon. That is an option. Yeah. Blech. Oh, and I get my souls back. How nice. How nice. Luxurious, even. Yeah, so we want to kind of come over here. Ouch. Wow, they really just wouldn't sit still. Yeah, I guess this is a type where once you've aggroed them, they'll just constantly attack. They might have a different behavior based on whether your back is turned. That'd be pretty classy programming for a dog-type enemy. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely ready to put in a lot more time on Valheim once it's up. I think that I'm wondering how much of the game I want to like bother to replay through and how much I just want to like move on to the next thing. Ouch. Yeah, he wasn't in the mood to play nice that time. Oh well, those souls will stay on the floor where they belong. Yeah, I'm wondering how much of the game I want to play back through versus how much I want to jump forward. I'm thinking that if I want to play through the game, I don't think I necessarily want to like re-level the character skills. So I would probably be just jumping on the server, putting my current loot inside of a box, and then going back up through all the tech tiers and stuff. But like I wouldn't want to give up on my levels of lumberjack, for instance, so that I could still like cut down trees and mine faster. Another Ritual Blood 4. That's pretty good. Pretty good. These guys are also worth like 4,000 souls. That's solid. What's it called? When we do get started on a server for that, Donald's buds, Cody and Paul and them, also play a good bit of Valheim. We could get them in too. Oh, we got a spider now too? Oh, there's several spiders in this next room. This is such a nasty, stupid room. Oh, that's true. It's possible we could lose progress just because of the update. I mean, it is all in beta, so nothing is... I mean, nothing's beyond the pale. Oh, wrong direction. I don't need to fight the ROM spider. This is a really, really nasty room. Wonder if I have any other tools that might help. It's like, I've got like one Molotov. Well, I've got some rope Molotovs. Maybe I could try some rope Molotovs. I've never really figured out rope Molotovs as a useful tool. It's supposed to be like you can drop them while running or something, and they hit people behind you while they're coming after you, which would be really great because I'm running away from things. Or trying to. So you need to come up and across about this threshold, give or take. Yeah, it does 90 damage to that guy if I land it, and that's not even a thing. So if I get knocked down by one of these dogs, I'm going to go into such a deficit that I can't possibly recover. So getting knocked down by them is going to be a death sentence, because they keep attacking so fast, I can't stand up. Because once I get knocked down by them, because the other stuff in the room is coming after me, I need to make sure I'm not in that hallway before I can actually fight back. And the time it takes me to get to that hallway, they just kill me. Oh. Yeah, if he goes into that kick has poise, and that's going to mess me up pretty bad. I just need to get in like 2 hits to make him go into his, like, charge up angry phase change thing. And once he's in the angry phase change, I can just backstab him to death. Let me see, because I don't really have anything very tricky to use to try and make this better. Yeah, we don't really get tricks for BL4. It's not a thing. And each of these dogs takes about a full combo to kill. Twin blood shards. I could maybe try some kind of setup with bone marrow to like shoot one of them down, but my gunshots are just pretty pathetic. I see there's also a stalker in there. I want to try and get out to like this bridge. So will the dogs follow me back this far? Come on, come out to a spot I actually want to fight you in. There we go! Yeah, I thought I might be able to get that to happen. So now, there's only 1 dog here, and like 3 spiders. Maybe more spiders than 3. Okay, wow, it is like handily more than 1 combo to kill him. Handily more than 1 combo. They poise through some of my stuff and go into that knockdown setup. So, wow, that is rude. Several kinds of rude. There are still some spiders here and a snatcher. I need to get the spiders one at a time. Spiders are not really troublesome. And I could have sworn I saw one of the sombrero. Yeah, there's one of the pyromancers in there on the left. I would like to try and see if I can avoid triggering him. Okay. Yeah, it looks like the pyromancer's not part of the aggro routine yet. He's just kind of hanging out over there. And the stalker is in the hallway. The stalker will be on his way over here in a bit. Unfortunately, I don't have any pungent blood cocktails. I think I sold them all while I was, you know, desperate for blood echoes a while back. Happens every now and then. Okay, it looks like the stalker's really not coming over this way. Bold hunter's marks are pretty nice. I think I'm going to have to trigger and fight the pyromancer. I think there's just not a way around that. Yeah, here we go. This is mad tricky. Yep. I wasn't dead. And that really screwed with me. So, okay. Given that, I'm gonna have to hope that that side room is not as important as it probably is, because it's impossible to walk past that number of enemies, and I'm really tired of fighting them right now. What else did I have on hand? Yeah, I've got Jack to try and get me through there. I think it might be possible to throw 1 or 2 pungent blood vials and get through that room. It is possible there's something valuable back there. That happens. Yeah, I have a summon opportunity. I think this is the refight with Rom. It might be the refight with Amygdala. I would be much more open to refighting Amygdala than it's Rom. Yeah, I thought it was Rom. So I think similar to the last fight with Rom, he won't do much for the first phase. His spiders are oddly passive because I haven't gotten close enough yet. Yeah, okay. Some of his spiders are like glitching around. I do not appreciate that. So generally for this, we want to kill his spiders in phase 1, and then in phase 2, we might try to blitz past them. Our kill strat for the first rendition of ROM is basically dependent on the fact that we did a lot of damage relative to his health. This refight is a healthier version of ROM. So we don't have as much of a shot at that. And we're not healthier either. At least as much of his stuff that one-shot us before will still one-shot us now. Okay, there's only one more, like, basic spider. Okay, so, we could come at this, like, in another attempt with some buffs. And right here is where we would buff and get ready to fight him. And, like, come in for the damage. Yeah, that's about the most damage we can get in. So from here... Oh, he came in at the same spot. That's going to be a big burst, isn't it? I don't really want to be this close to this many spiders. That's his up from the ground thing. Not a big deal. That's, yet again, things up from the ground. Up from the ground, that's fine. The attack I don't want him to use, really, is Meteor Rain. If I'm staying relatively close, I think he won't want to use that. He's doing something. That looks like it would be the meteors. It was not the meteors. I think that was his damage burst. That's stuff from the floor. We got hit by stuff from the floor and it killed us. Given the damage we did on the first rendition, we probably got 3 rotations without buffs. It's like possible to do a lot more damage in certain circumstances. I'm gonna try changing out my weapon to a lightning spec weapon. You know what? I can actually do like a full lightning-based anti-kin setup for this. This actually might be the use case for applying the blood rock to the axe and fighting with the axe. because I had that triangle kin gem. Let me try that out. I was kind of looking for an excuse to do this. Oh no, I was still short on bloodstone chunks by 4 chunks. I don't think I can get 4 chunks really. How far away am I on insight from getting 4 chunks? Miles away. Okay, so we're not doing that then. Well, let's use this to repair weapons in that case. So I don't get to use like my one big fancy anti-kin gem. But what can I use here? Blood gem fortification, that's what I'm going for. Whoops. Like losing track of things. So, let's see. Bolt, bolt, and then... the odd bolt actually hits harder than the regular bolt. Cool. So, bolt, 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 very electric, much zap. And let's use this to take on Rom in lower Tumor 3. So the biggest thing that's helpful about this is it allows us to attack the spiders head on instead of going around behind them every time. I don't know how much of a gain that is. I think that's somewhat of a gain. This should be more effective on him than physical to an extent, but it's kind of tricky. This is the kind of fight where it would usually be a lot more comfortable if I had the freedom to buff. But we don't have the freedom to buff because consumables are unbelievably expensive in Bloodborne. Oh my god, they're awful. They're very, very powerful, but man, it's obnoxious. So let me see how much I can mess up a spider head-on with this. Well, the spider can mess me up head-on, but it looks like I one-shot that other spider with an R1 attack with this setup. So that's pretty cool. And these are, this is using a lot of gems that I found in the old hunters. As I was on my way to fight the Orphan of Kos. There's a little bit more content back in the old hunters. I think I can do some other stuff and get like a special rune. You know, I think I might actually need to kill the Orphan of Kos to get that rune, so it's not important. I'm just gonna very quickly kill these guys. You can usually just run past them. Wait for my stamina to come back. Okay, dealt a pretty good amount of damage. That's up from the floor. Check for blue beneath us. There's not a lot of time to actually genuinely react to that, so I'm usually just going to stay really far away and hope that that's enough. Okay, that's his meteor thing. I think the pillars might be able to eat that, so this is actually more simpler than the standard ROM fight on that merit. Okay, just heal up. Okay, he's only got one spider left, but it's chilling behind him, which is kind of the worst. Yeah, the pillar is eating those barely. And should continue to eat those as long as I'm directly underneath the pillar. And he's doing it again, like 4 times. I really just gotta be done with this one last spider bit, dude. Okay. Okay, yeah, looks like one more rotation of that and we'll be done. Get behind a pillar for this. And still behind a pillar. And still behind a pillar, because he's just rapid firing that same stupid attack. Spiders permitting, we can just go for ROM directly. We just have to be very cautious about that. Because our margin of error here is we can take 1 attack. And we're dead. Whew! Spooky. He slapped me with his face, and I instantly died. I didn't know he could actually do that. That's a huge bummer. We were like 1 attack away from finishing him off. I thought I could just blitz it down. Damn. Vacuous ROM, he's a pain in the neck. It is so much nicer to be able to use the pillars for this fight, though. Dun 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 dun. Alright, let's see. Maybe give him 1 or 2 more attempts and then, like, do a few more attempts on Kos to round out the night. Okay, come here, spiders. I really want all the spiders dead for this first set. It's basically just every time we kill a spider, it's eyes on the next spider. Because usually the next spider's like queuing up an attack. If they're in close quarters. Okay, that was a really fast first set. It's going to be 1 trans, 1 trans, stamina back. Okay, and that got him about to the halfway. We prompted an immediate teleport, which is a little spooky. That's a burst. That's from the floor. That's from the floor. That was the slap, but that time it didn't kill me. Spider almost got me. And now I'm dead. Random floor junk. That was also pretty close. I only needed like one more round of stuff. I might have... it might have been better to try to rally off of him after he hit me with the head slap. I noticed that time the head slap didn't kill me, but earlier it did. I guess when he does the head slap, he's got like a head hitbox and a body hitbox. I probably took the lesser of the two hitboxes. Well, that's going to be enough for ROM for now. Let me just go back, re-kit my weapon, and I'm going to do a little bit more Kos fighting. Let's stretch. Okay. I don't think I'm going to make great progress on Kos until I take another look at just like the how of the fight. So it's tempering damp. Should be tempering damp. I thought it was a nourishing damp was the other one I was using. Yeah, tempering damp, nourishing damp, tempering droplet. There we go. And let's see, I did find a bit more insight. I could like use some Madman's knowledge and turn it into consumables and go at it. I'm just going to grab some consumables with what I have. Just a little bit. And we'll go ahead and throw in consumables for a couple attempts. And here we go. Let's see. I've run out of dessert foods. I had some cookies from Christmas, and they're gone now. I have the ingredients to make myself hot chocolate. I haven't eaten proper dinner yet. I should stop. I should stop that. Okay. Got over here. Habuff. Habuff. I won't be able to use the counts I've been using, because they're based on a certain damage total, and I'm going to be doing more than that. That's a first world problem. Dang it. So long as I'm using buffs, I want to get a quick phase, which is why I went for a dodge in that attack, which I sometimes choose not to deal with. We'll go back to not dealing with that attack. Yeah, that slam. It's definitely handed me my face a few times. With the buffs, we'll take the R1. Because I don't have like a health count going for this. Here we go. That gets us the real beasthood. Come on, give me something good. Good stuff. That's not good stuff. I have a sneaking suspicion he is aware that he is trolling me now. Okay, bit of a whiff there. And we lost our buffs. Buffs desynced a little bit and was a little out of position because I was having to reapply. Not taking that. That was spooky. That's good damage. Nope, didn't get the counter correct. I could have gone in on that. I was not ready. That's the end of my Beast Blood. There's the end of my Fire Paper. This will get me the phase transition. Okay, I didn't get the backstab because he went for the lightning attack. Lightning attack protects him from being backstabbed. Lightning. The one time we advocate looking away from the boss. Oh, that's a big drag. Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. Shoot. Well, that was our last buffed attempt. Whew. Yeah, I didn't know he could do a big yo-yo with that. So I got him to do one of the attack setups that I'm trying to aim for, but my positioning was not quite right on it. I was a little too close to the boss when he triggered the attack. Because I'm aiming to go for, after a dash, I need to, after he does like one of the side cuts that pulls him off, I need to follow that a little bit to trigger the follow-up. Then I need to walk away from the follow-up and then walk under a jump he's going to do. But if the follow-up hits, he won't do the jump because he knows he's already close enough. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. stay out of that. I don't remember if this is 4 or 5. I think that's 4. Gunshot was a little early. This would be 5. Still too early on the gunshot. Oh, I walked into that, unfortunately. I dodged that. It might not have looked it, but I did. I had to dodge that because I wasn't walking correctly. That time I walked correctly. That's transition, actually. Okay. So I lost count a little bit. And then there's a proper 3 stabs into Visceral. He's going for lightning. That's a big nasty thing that I haven't seen him do yet. And I dodged into an attack. I knew roughly where he was, but I didn't quite respond correctly to it. Sometimes he just wants to jump around and rain bullshit. Yeah, phase 2 is very jumpy. You can have just a couple of times where he hangs out near you, and you have to know beforehand how to deal with them. Whee. Oh, that hit. That's a pain. Come on, give me a good attack. There we go. Yeah, I've gotten better at punishing certain openings that I could not punish at all before. That was the wrong position for that. The camera combo. that too late on the gun? I think that might have been too late. I didn't like the angle for that. My positioning was just not quite right. I was like so ready for him to do a follow-up on that. If he chooses not to do a follow-up, I can like take the opening on that. But I do need to decide like one way or the other what I'm doing for that to work out. I'll save my bullets this time. I'll just use this to heal. Used a lot of blood vials this run. It's been so long since I've seen that I didn't respond to it correctly. Very uncharitable, this attempt. Okay, if it's only one slash from that distance, if it's only one swing from that distance, I can't punish it. Not safely. There we go. And I whiffed. Almost died. That should be short of phase transition. Okay. Phase 2. It's the lightning. The lightning again. So he's just moody. I was ready to dodge at that time, but I didn't hit the button correctly, I guess. Whee! Alright, that's going to be the last attempt for today, because I need to eat, and because I need to farm blood vials again. Like, the number of times you have to go and farm blood vials, it's only like 5 minutes to do, but if it's 5 minutes on the hour and you spend a certain amount of time, there's a point where like you've spent an hour farming blood vials that you could do this. It's so annoying. Well, anyway, that's it for today. Unless I get back online later, I might. I don't know. I'll probably be up pretty late tonight because I don't have to work tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes, how I'm feeling, whatever. Anywho, this has been Jupiter Exile. I am looking for recommendations on the next thing to jump into or explore or check out. I was doing kind of a variety day yesterday to go back through some other stuff, show where I'm at, but those are games that I don't really feel like full-time showcasing because I think the pace of them is not well suited to streaming. As a note, they are making an Ascension setup and full-blown expanded roguelite for Inscription. That is currently in like an alpha or a beta or something like that. Once that's in full release, I'm definitely going to be jumping into that and spending more time on that. But you know, for now, good night. I hope we wander again soon.